What's going on, guys? This is Scuba Dude with Fort Misery Gaming. And my people there with me.
Oh, Jordan slash Spoot.
And the Midget Man.
And today, guys, we just got the wrap up of the Trunks arc in Dragon Ball Super. So we're doing a quick review of episode 67 and a brief recap of the arc as a whole. And we did a really in-depth review of episode 66, but unfortunately the other team member that recorded it, computer crashed, and most likely we are going to lose that data. So we're going to do this episode, but pretty much most people have talked about 66, and we don't really need to get too detailed on that, but basically this starts right where that left off, and basically we end it with Trunks slashing Zamasu in half, and from there Goku basically verifies that it was the Spirit Bomb Trunks used to defeat his enemies. So I guess we'll go into that first detail. What do you guys feel about Trunks being able to control the Spirit Bomb, which has always been Goku's weapon? I guess
He didn't use the Spirit Bomb. He said it was like the Spirit Bomb.
I mean, I think it was... So basically it was the equivalent of a Spirit Bomb in like a physical form. So instead of him like channeling energy into his sword, he just channeled the Spirit Bomb into a sword.
Well, it was similar to like what Goku did in one of the Broly movies, where like the Spirit Bomb comes to him and he just kind of like absorbs it, and then what did he like punch Broly or Kamehameha him or whatever?
Yeah, he used it to recharge himself like a battery.
Right. So, but yeah, so there was cool mention there. At least they verified that's what was going on. Pretty much, and after that, we basically see Zamasu reform, and he basically covers up the entire sky in this like weird mist type thing, and he basically becomes the universe and infects the entire universe. So this kind of reminds me of like some stuff they did with like Digimon back as a childhood when like they defeated the Dark Masters, and then like Apocalypse shows up, who just becomes this big old ball and is the universe too. So, how do you guys feel about the universe is now a god and Zamasu and like an untangible enemy?
I mean, we've had ghosts.
He became the universe. It was very odd. Like, who does that? I want justice in this universe, and now I am the universe. You still haven't accomplished your goal, dog. Shut up, I'm the universe.
Well, basically, and the thing that what got me was like, so he's like this misty cloud thing, and like
with eyeballs.
Yeah. So
and Goku replications of his face.
Goku still thinks he can fight him, so Goku's like, "Oh, I just need a Spirit
Of course, fucking Goku can fight him. What? Duh. Have you not watched Dragon Ball?
Have you not watched Dragon Ball Abridged? Guys, I have a plan. What is it? We're gonna punch him really hard. God damn it, Goku.
Okay, but obviously we know he's like this now. He has no tangible like thing. So
look, in all fairness, they all tried to charge up and go after him.
They did. They all did it because Goku's like, "Oh, sensu beam me and I'm good." And the funny part was like they couldn't even like sensu beam was because like apparently Final Kamehameha exhausts you so much you can't even go Super Saiyan after that. So,
I mean, considering all the fighting they did beforehand, not surprising.
No, that makes sense. So, literally, Trunks is the only one that goes Super Saiyan, and Goku and Vegeta are base form, which I found it weird that Vegeta could do Final Flash outside of Super Saiyan, because I thought he needed Super Saiyan power to use it. But apparently he can do it in base form. So, they attack him, and obviously it does nothing, because Zamasu is this now universe being whatever bullshit he is, and then Goku looks for a sensu beam and he can't find one, and then he sees the button to summon the Omni King, and he summons the Omni King, and Supreme Kai and Zamasu are like bowing down before him, and he pretty much shows up, and he doesn't know who he is because he's on a different timeline from Goku. So Goku's just like, "Hey, this guy's really, really bad," and he's like, "Oh, did you do all this bad stuff in the sky? And it looks really bad." And the Omni King, and then Goku's like, "No, the guy above us did it." And he's just like, "He annoys me."
Yeah. And Goku's like, "Don't you think someone like this should be erased?" He goes, "Yep, this whole world should be erased." And and then Goku goes, "Oh, I know what that means. We gotta get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, he just like Bugs Bunny like exit stage left. He was like,
I love
"Oh
it.
no, this is happening. I gotta go."
Everyone into the time machine. Vegeta and me will just hang on to the edge for dear life because time machines work that way. Why not?
That was the funny part. Was like they're just like, oh, we can get away this way. Yep, that'll work. Why they didn't just all grab Supreme Kai and Supreme Kai just didn't transport all of them back to the past?
Because
I don't understand.
Okay, so listen, they ignored
Kai-
Kaioken for like 22 years, so it just doesn't matter.
Oh, I know. No, of course not. That's like the whole. Like, I think that's like Super's theme, where it's just like we establish these characters can do these certain things that would make more sense in this situation, but we're just gonna ignore that and make things more comical and feel like Bulma has some importance in this episode, so that she doesn't feel like she's just there. So they like gave Bulma something to do in the episode. Be like, yeah, start the time machine. You built it and it's fixed now. That's awesome. Good job, Bulma. I feel that's like what was the point of them not just all grabbing on Supreme Kai, even though that would make more sense.
I mean, I just think it was funny that, well, it possibly has to do with you're not supposed to use the time ring at all whatsoever unless you're a Kai, which makes sense in that sense.
Okay.
But on the other hand, it's still hilarious that he was just like, "Oh, deuces, everybody. Hope you make it," and just disappears.
Yeah, that's what I thought was pretty funny, and it was actually funny that Goku knew immediately what was gonna happen. I thought it would be way more funny if it was like he actually just blew up everything and everyone else was disintegrating, and then like Wiz stepped in, and then Wiz was like, "Let's reset all this. Now Goku knows what to do." And we pulled like a resurrection of Frieza thing. I think that would make it more funny. But
That'd be dumb.
I mean, it's not like considering how many things happened at the end of the last episode. This was like, all right, it's over. Go home, guys. And you're like, oh, okay. All right.
Well, I mean, because the last episode was technically supposed to be the end of the fight. This was just kind of like
like mopping up, I guess.
Well, no, I think it was more like that the creators wanted to emphasize that ultimately the Saiyans couldn't have beat Zamasu, and you did need a god being to beat him, and just to like prove it kind of proved that the Saiyans were kind of insignificant because honestly, if they knew that's how, like, if Wiz and Barris knew this is how it's going to turn out, then obviously Wiz and Barris should have been the ones to go back to the future and just to get rid of Zamasu or bring the Omni King or whoever.
Nah,
If
they don't fuck
ultimately
with
knew, no matter what, even if Trunks or Vegeta was able to beat Zamasu, they literally wouldn't be able to stop his ultimate plan.
Yeah.
I mean, that seemed more like a last-ditch effort than my ultimate plan is to become the universe. He's like, well, it's this or I stop existing.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, if they're going to be fighting gods and stuff like that, you kind of have to assume that's the realm of possibility of that happening, though, right?
I don't know. I have seen a lot of different animes with a lot of different things. At no point have I ever seen someone go, contingency plan, I become the universe.
Yeah, like that's never like plan B. Like plan B is usually like, all right, I can't fight plan A, so I'm gonna like, do the Spider-Man villain route, and I'm gonna go kill his friends and family. Like that's usually plan B. It's not. No, I'm just going to become an omniscient cloud, i.e., also become the universe. And you go, okay, all right, that's you probably did a lot of planning in high school. Like you took honors classes, I promise.
I slept through my honors classes.
I did too, and I still had a 4.0 in high school.
Same here. It was great.
Anyway, so basically they all go back to the past, and then Goku's like, oh, so they don't exist anymore because the world's gone. So then Goku basically goes back to find the Omni King, and then he brings him back, and then he brings him to the present day Omni King, and he's basically there with now they're like brothers and besties or whatever, and they have a companionship or something like that. Which
And
is
we
like
meet
really
Wiz's
weird.
dad.
Yeah, and you meet Wiz's dad, which that was kind of cool that you find out that Wiz's dad is like the caretaker of the Omni King, So you get to really see like Wiz's status of like, because people have like pretty much insinuated that Wiz is the most powerful of the godly figures that we've seen like between Universe 6 and 7 and all that stuff. So it kind of solidifies that he probably is stronger than Beerus.
No, he's 100% stronger than Beerus.
Right.
Like that's why Beerus is training with him, and why he's entrusted to keep Beerus in check and stop him from blowing up planets and suns by accident.
It's true.
Well, I just thought that was because Wiz is like the good part of Beerus, and if Wiz wasn't there, Beerus would just kill everything. So
I don't think it's like the good part of Beerus. I think it's like that Wiz is like the good person on his shoulder is like, no, calm down. You can't have more pudding if you blew up all the pudding. Like that's not how it works.
I think it's hilarious that they're obsessed with Earth food.
Apparently, it doesn't exist anywhere else. Like every other universe we've run into, they were just like, "Man, I wish I knew who Goku was." And you're like, "Okay, what did Earth like explode?"
What I really love about, especially the Omni King's character, is that Goku treats him just like this regular guy, like a friend or whatever, and Beerus and everyone else gets really mad that he doesn't show decorum.
Oh, like the Supreme Kai freaking out every time he does it is like the best part.
Yeah.
Goku, you can't do that. He's my friend.
Yeah, he's just like, but he's my friend.
So they basically, so he leaves them there. Then they go back and do their thing, and then they try to figure out what to do with Trunks and Mai, who are from the future, obviously, now that their world is erased from existence. And basically, Wiz comes up with this idea, instead of just letting them live in the past, like of going back in time to a certain point where they could get rid of Zamasu and Black before the whole extermination plan and whatever happens. And that sounded fine on paper, but then like Wiz basically says, well, now we have to go to a point in time, that you, Trunks, and you, Mai, will actually exist, right, in this world, and you guys are both going to be living on the same timeline with each other. That was like a complete paradox time, weird bullshit, like Back to the Future crazy shit there.
Not really. I mean, that was just... They're like, hey, you have to reconstitute the timeline. And they're like, all right, well, paradox being what it is.
Well, yeah, but basically, so you're going to have two Trunkses and two Mai's on the same timeline.
Yeah.
I just think that it's funny that overall they kind of took a Marvel, like, Doctor Strange approach to it. Like, we're going to make this so it kind of didn't happen, but it happened, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
That cool with you? And everyone's like, yeah, that's cool.
It's just weird because it's like, so that event happened with, the Omni King being Zamasu, but now we're going to pretty much erase that, and we're going to go to this situation where Wiz or Beerus or whoever eliminates Zamasu on that timeline. So really, the Omni King didn't do what he did, and it just makes everything all screwed up, and it's just like, this is a lot of work for stuff that just didn't need to happen. If this was going to be the end result, why didn't we just do this?
You don't watch The Flash a lot, do you?
No, I don't.
So...
And I was actually going to mention The Flash is like, I think of this whole arc as like a big thing of like Flash stuff from what...
I mean, this arc is literally Flashpoint. Yeah, you're just like, hey, all this weird shit happened, and at the end they go, no, it didn't. And you go, all right, well done. Good job, everybody.
But we remember it happening. Yeah, but it didn't happen.
But it didn't happen. And then everybody like slow claps as everybody like walks off stage, and then it's over. And that's what happened this episode. This was the go home. Like, this was Lesnar winning at WrestleMania, and everybody's like, well, that was shitty. Good luck, everybody.
Oh, that's funny. So like, I guess my thing is like, I almost would have rather like, I wish I like them utilizing the Omni King and showing his absolute power over the universe, but I wish they would have ended in a way to where they could have, like, the Omni King could have went like back in time and then killed Zamasu before he killed like the whole Earth, so that they didn't have to go through all this time-polluted bullshit. That's like, it makes the rest, some of the other episodes, just in my opinion, feel like they kind of didn't matter in the end.
That's completely out of Omni King's character. He destroyed it not because it was evil, but because it was annoying and ugly, and he didn't like it.
Well, he knew it was bad. I mean, I think he has a sense of. I'm sure he won't go out to Goku. Like, I mean, obviously he didn't show up when Goku almost died to Frieza, and
He
when he
thought
got
Goku did it, and he's like, no, it wasn't me.
No. And what I'm saying is he obviously lets people play out their roles throughout the universe. But there's something that is completely like obviously Goku, Trunks, Vegeta, Supreme Kai couldn't prevent what Zamasu was doing, so he had to step in, obviously.
I mean,
So
he
I
didn't
think
have
that's what
to.
his role is when like there's a threat that no other being can take but him, and it's going to disturb the balance of the universe. He steps in to fix it.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, that's definitely not what happened this time. Like, it was just Goku pointing out, like, hey, that guy's an asshole. And then Omni King's like, yeah, I agree. That was it. It wasn't like he didn't have some obligation towards that universe. If he had known the universe was getting turned into Samasu, he would have stepped in anyway, but he only showed up because he was like, yeah, that guy's annoying, because this dude told me. And that was it. There wasn't any, like, there wasn't any point to it. He was just like, I don't like this guy. And he was like, me neither. And
Like,
you go, bang, dead. And you go, all right.
Well, it wasn't just because Goku said he was annoying.
Yeah, it was. That was specifically why it happened.
No, it wasn't. As soon as he got to the planet, he could tell there was something wrong, and that's why he asked Goku, "Did you do this?" It wasn't that like even if Goku didn't say anything, he still was going to be like, "Well, who are you people and what happened here?" Like he still was going to get the information and figure out what the source of the problem was. I don't feel that he was just going to let the Earth completely decay and the universe around him that he's in charge of to maintain just unravel. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Here's my thoughts on it. So long as they don't keep doing this over and over again, it's cool. And on the other hand, technically, the Omni King didn't fix everything. He just brought it to a point where everyone else could fix it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. He gave them a window to repair and problem solve the situation, and how Wiz and Trunks could. So so from there, just two minor things I want to point out because that is pretty much the episode. Trunks goes back, obviously, and I guess it was really cool kind of how he left because like Vegeta walks up and punches him, and then Trunks just nonchalant blocks it, and that's like, yep, that's their hug, guys. That's how father and son say goodbye.
I mean, if you didn't think that was how he was going to say goodbye.
He cries when he sees Gohan.
Oh yeah, so that's okay. So there's so much speculation on this. So we've seen Gohan ever since Z has always like worn glasses and been in the nerdy clothes and stuff like that. And actually, it's kind of, if you guys notice, he actually showed up with Piccolo. He was sweating. He wasn't wearing glasses. So there's a lot of insight that Gohan may be making a big return as a fighter on the next arc.
Well, the next arc's already been revealed. They've already pulled the episode titles from it.
No. Well, that's gonna be filler stuff, obviously.
No, I mean there's a whole arc.
Right, but it's a filler arc.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a filler arc.
Okay.
It's gonna be more like Pilaf and like they're gonna be wishing, they're summoning the dragon to do random wishes. It's like for right now, like
no. The next arc is there's actually somebody hires an assassin to kill Goku. Like it's not like a Dragon Ball. That's like the next 3 or 4 episodes, and then after that, when they hit, I think it's 71 or 72. That's when the next arc starts. So the next like 5 episodes are absolutely filler. But like, there's actually a Goku attempted assassination in the next arc.
You talking about after the 5 filler episodes or whatever? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because when they release the titles, that's how I know there's a baseball episode coming. I told Daniel, and he was like, "Can you stop fucking with my emotions?" I'm like, "I'm not kidding," because there's nothing more than he loves than Dragon Ball and baseball. Anything with balls, really.
Oh God.
I'll let that joke make itself.
Anyway, I think that is big foreshadowing because, like, if you guys notice, Super has been, like, a pretty big fan service. Like,
well, I mean, it should have been. I mean, we've had no Dragon Ball that was worth watching in 15 years? Like, come on.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is, like, the whole thing with Trunks, you know, even Kaioken and then Vegito, it's all been in response to what the fans have been wanting. Like, we wanted Trunks to come back, we wanted Kaioken to come back, and then we wanted Vegito to come back. And all those.
Right, maybe you wanted Trunks to come back. I didn't give a fuck about Trunks.
Most people wanted Trunks to come back, but anyway, But I think the number one thing people want, they want to see the return of either Ultimate Gohan or the badassery of Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. So I think that's I would say I'm 75% sure that Gohan will return before the end of Super, until before the series ends and does something relevant.
Oh yeah, I mean he'll probably do something in the next arc. I mean they've been panning him for a little while.
Right, right. And there was even he even said he wanted to get back to training after what happened with Resurrection of Frieza, because he felt so like an innocent bystander when he had to rely on Goku and Vegeta to save him. So I think that's like it's pretty much on the wall that he's going to be relevant in somewhat in the next arc, which I really like that. I like that they're deviating away from Goku and Vegeta, and like obviously the key players, but I like.
Well, I mean they've hit all the real big fan servicey spots. They had Super Saiyan Blue, both Goku and Vegeta. They had Trunks come back. They had like Beerus and Wiz are kind of the new. We're sort of good characters, but we're kind of morally ambiguous, especially Beerus. And then, like, obviously next you may as well do another throwback. Like, why not Piccolo and Gohan? Like,
Yeah, I like that. And they brought Piccolo back a little bit in the World Tournament. It wasn't really that great, but they showed him at least that like he has gotten a little bit stronger since Majin Buu. But
I mean, he's a Namekian. He only gets so strong. I mean, Krillin doesn't have a nose. Like, he's the strongest human alive. He doesn't have a nose. Like, figure that out.
yeah, yeah. But and then the other thing I just wanted to mention was I don't know if you guys picked this up, but that when Mai came back, she didn't have any acknowledgement of Pilaf and Shu, and it was like they didn't even know each other. So do you guys think that has to do with they never met in the timeline? They were killed. Maybe they were killed in battle.
Maybe she just didn't care.
Yeah,
They're kind of assholes. Or at least Pilaf is. It's like, why the fuck would you care about that ass?
Pilaf fixed the time machine for them, though.
yeah, but it wasn't because he was a nice guy.
I guess. I mean, I actually they're a funny side banter in Super. Like
They're fantastic. I mean, they've been good since they
really
brought him
annoying
back.
in GT, but I like him in Super. I think it's cool what they.
Well,
do
they
with him.
figured out that they didn't need to like press the character like they did in GT. Like they just show up kind of in Super, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, these guys are still there, and they're like, tee, and then they move on. Like,
Right. So I don't know. I think that's cool. I like to see more insight, like exactly what happened to them, because obviously they're not around in the timeline Trunks and Mai are from. Like when we catch up to that point in that timeline. So I'd like to see if they were killed in battle, like during Goku Black or the androids, or if they
Probably
just never
way
encountered.
earlier.
Huh?
Probably in the Droid Saga, like everyone was killed then. Literally everyone.
Yeah, most of the people were. So that wraps up that episode. So we'll do a brief recap of the arc in general. Obviously, we kind of speculated already about what's coming up in the next arc. I guess, first of all, let's talk about Super in general. So I guess you guys know originally it was only supposed to be like 30 episodes, and now we've obviously doubled that. So
yeah, originally it was only supposed to be kind of like a touchback, and then they, I guess, it's kind of the same thing that a lot of returning shows don't realize. It's like, so a show went away, and then people are like, oh man, that was really popular, we want that back, and then it goes on for a while and people stop caring. But that didn't happen to Dragon Ball. Like, it came back and people were like, oh shit, Dragon Ball, let's get going.
Yeah, I was like I would be really like I just don't see how the creators can think that like, oh yeah, we bring it back for only 30 episodes and then we kill it. Like, do you honestly think that it's not going to be popular and you guys aren't going to make money off that? Like,
Well,
I mean,
it was a very different feel. They were testing it. Because,
Right,
like, it takes a lot to animate these episodes. I mean, generally, classical animation takes, like, a while per episode. So, like, you wouldn't want to be like, yeah, we're just going to give it 6 seasons in a movie. Because you wanted to test it first. Like, if they had done 30 episodes and they couldn't keep... Like, the thing's not even dubbed yet, and it's still one of the most popular animes running. Like, that's nuts.
It's more popular than One Piece. I think it's the most popular anime in Japan, to be honest, from what I've heard. Anyway.
Yeah, but the big thing is, like, anime in Japan cycles a lot faster. Like, they have 3 or 4 like seasons of anime, and when I say seasons, I don't mean like 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean like you've got spring anime, you've got winter anime, you've got summer anime. Like, things come out so fast over there.
And that's what's weird to me. I thought because they're doing the next episode immediately, like next week. I thought we were going to give at least like a 3-week break. But that's kind of funny because, like, our shows, like, in the States, like Flash and stuff like that, it's all like they do one season of episodes and they take a season off. That's usually how they rotate it. But here it's just like immediately they're going right into the next arc. When we had like a big ending, people could sit and wait and see what happens, but we're going to the next arc immediately. So that's kind of funny that they're doing that as well. So, but what do you guys think is like? How many episodes do you guys think Super should do? How many would you want them to do?
If it's topical and they can, like, not run the Dragon Ball route where they're just dragging things out for 700 episodes, like, you could theoretically keep it going until everybody gets bored with it. Like, as long as it's new, sort of fresh and entertaining. Like, I mean, Christ, The Simpsons has been on for 30 years and it's only been good. It was only, like, really solid for its first 10. Like, everything else is, like, it's occasionally funny, but it's never like, oh man, this is like the best season ever, because the best seasons ever has already happened. Like, Super's only gotten better.
Right, I think that's completely true. And I think they've even gotten to the point where like they're as good as it was. Like obviously the Cell Saga was like the most, like, to me anyway, that was the best part of Dragon Ball Z, and I think they're like close to that of how well the show's producing. So, Alex, what about you? Like, how far would you like to see it? Like, you want to see it go to like 250 episodes, stop at 100?
All right, so you have to remember, I'm sure Jordan's going to get on me for this. I am a comic book fan. After a certain amount of time, they just end up rewiping the universe and starting over with comic books, and I still love it. So
Yeah.
I don't care.
I mean, that would be fine if... So that's a solid point. The only downside of that is you can only do it to a point where it's topical. Like, Marvel just did their universe smash because they literally have no idea how to sell comic books. Because generally everything that has come out of it has been awful. Like,
I can't commit anything to this conversation because I don't read comics. So,
well, I mean, they've done it before. So, like, they did the new Marvel run, and they didn't really reset the universe so much as, like, they refocused on different characters and different brands because of the cinematic universe. Like, you can't really do that with Super, or with Dragon Ball in general. You can't be like, fuck it, we're just redoing Dragon Ball from the start. Like, I mean, we've done it. You can't.
Overall, my point being, as long as the entertainment's there, as long as I can't wait, like, as soon as I wake up and go, man, I wonder if it's up yet, or as long as I have that feeling, that nostalgia, like, oh, I can't wait for this to come back and, watch this new episode and, do this podcast with you guys, then I don't care how long it goes on. I don't care if it ends tomorrow, as long as it has a natural conclusion.
Yeah, no, I agree entirely. I think that's it, as long as it's not forced. Like, you can't do the Naruto thing where you've got like 600 episodes of like story that legitimately doesn't matter.
Right. And I think the thing with Naruto is like they were just like, oh, this is the enemy. Like, oh no, we're gonna make it last longer and just keep throwing stuff up at you because we really don't want this show to end. I think that was like the thing with Naruto is like it went on like 300 episodes longer than it should have.
Yeah, and I mean, they're trying to, like, tie it back in with, like, the kids, and now they're doing a different story arc, and that's fine. You gotta do whatever you do to stay topical, but, like,
yeah.
I mean, Bleach hit its end, and that went on for way too long.
Yeah, I never watched Bleach, but I always heard that...
It was good. So, when it was on point with story, and it wasn't just like, hey, we're gonna do the Dragon Ball thing and jerk off for 7 episodes, it was great. But there was just a lot of jerking off.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that Super... Oh, I'm just going to finish this one point.
Go ahead.
I think Super is in the right mindset of that they can do that, and they can be possibly be even more effective than Z, because they're not leaning on Goku heavily as much as they basically did the entire Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT series.
They've built their stable of characters. Like, they finally have kind of branched out where you have a lot of characters that you can follow. Like Dragon Ball, you had Bulma, Goku, Yamcha.
Yeah, Goku was the only one that you could count on to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, that was his job.
Yeah.
And then you had, like, when they got in later to, like, the World Tournament, you had, like, the Crane School, and then you had Krillin, and then they did, like, Demon King Piccolo, so that one took a little longer to get moving, but, I mean, they established a pretty good roster of characters, I thought.
See, and what I like about Dragon Ball, what I like about Naruto over um, Bleach, is Bleach Ichigo gets stronger because he gets stronger. Literally it. Oh, look, turns out I'm half, guard captain already by birth. And that's why I keep tapping into this unknown potential, and it's stupid. Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, you see them doing their training montages, or they're always talking about, oh, we're gonna keep training, we're gonna keep training. Goku and Vegeta keep training with Wiz and Beerus to get stronger. Naruto kept training with, first it was Kakashi, then it was Jiraiya, then it was, more
Choji.
Jiraiya, the QB, and no matter what, you saw the progression. Like, it wasn't our main character is now stronger because he has to be stronger.
Yeah, the writers just write him stronger, and you don't. There's no reason
Well,
why. And especially,
so in Bleach's case, it really lives by Deus Ex Machina. They're like, oh, hey, we have a new big baddie, and you go, Ichigo will beat him, and you go, no, he can't, and then you go, yeah, because he has this thing that we just made up on the spot, and you go, all right, well, good job, good job.
yeah, there was no evidence of how he obtained that.
I mean, there were a couple of things they led into, being his mom being a wizard.
I'm saying from what you guys are saying, that's what it sounds like, and I'm saying from what especially Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball franchise, is that it's always a response to a need. Like, Goku went Super Saiyan because he had to, or they would all die. Goku went Super Saiyan, or Gohan went Super Saiyan 2 because he had to, because Cell.
I mean, in that sense, they sort of share that, but it's way more forced in Bleach for the most part. And not like I'm hating on Bleach. I don't mind Bleach. It's just,
oh yeah,
a lot of the weird left ball story triggers were just like, hey, you know that guy that was all powerful? Well, he's dead now because this dude's way more powerful than him. And you go, why keep doing that to me?
Yeah, there were at the very beginning there were certain things that they did that was great. Like, Ichigo's sword is insanely huge. Why? Because he's actually stupid strong and has no idea how to control it. Things like that were they were great. And then it literally became this secret link hidden back 3 years before the show actually started. That's why he can do this now. And that's the kind of shit I don't like.
Well, I'm glad Dragon Ball and Naruto, those are really the only two animes I follow heavily, and I'm glad they're on the right path as far as writing goes. So
I mean,
you need to expand your anime repertoire. By the way,
I just don't have time really. So, but but so I guess just to wrap up, we're just gonna go over this arc just in general. So I'm gonna go last. So let's start with Alex, actually, of what you thought overall of the arc.
Okay. I will be completely honest. When I saw a random Facebook post for Black Goku, then I was like, okay, now I'm gonna check out this show. So literally until that point,
is the first time this is what actually got you back into Super.
Yeah.
Arc. Oh wow, cool.
So that's why I've been watching a little more, and like I said, that exciting feeling of I feel like I'm watching Dragon Ball when I was a kid again. I'm excited for the next episode. Things are progressing in a good way, and now that I'm an adult and understand storylines a bit better, I'm glad that, like we said, things are progressing because the story is progressing the way it's supposed to. These guys keep getting stronger because they keep training and trying to outdo each other. You see the things that they do, you see their personal lives, and we are stepping away from the Goku Save Us .deck format.
That's good. I like that. That's a really good review, actually. Jordan, your thoughts? I know you haven't really been thorough into the episodes.
I mean,
whatever feedback you can
so
give from
we all got the hype. We're like, oh yeah, Future Trunks, he's coming back. And I think for the most part, Black Goku and Zamasu were relatively successful as villains. The Scooby-Doo mystery arc of figuring out who Zamasu was really boring. I know they had to do it, but that could have easily been compressed. And with Beerus playing Scooby-Doo, it's just kind of silly. And then Beerus also plays Scooby-Doo's gonna murder everybody, so that was cool.
Yeah,
but
I love Beerus's character.
He's the best character in Super, and I would honestly argue he's one of my favorite characters in Dragon Ball.
Wow, okay.
I like the absolute extremes. He's either taking a nap or he's destroying a universe. Like, there's no in between for this man or cat. This cat is either all chill or no chill. There's no like, let's take a break.
He's all Netflix and no chill.
Or no Netflix and all chill. But that's just the thing. Like the Black Goku arc was really good. Like I think the Spirit Bomb sword for Trunks was a little forced. But I mean, they had to give him something. Like Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta was also that dumb rollback on the Patar earrings again. Like, oh yeah, I guess if you're not Kai's, you can't stay for more than like 10 minutes. And you're like,
don't even get me started.
yeah. No. So that's why I was just like, so other than the really glaringly obvious plot drops, like it was done pretty well. But for the most part, I think I would probably put it above the World Tournament as far as like how it was presented. Like I think there was like a definite sense of like, oh man, this guy like Black could really fuck shit up. Like this is gonna get bad.
And he did, and
He absolutely did. And like other than what Cell exploding a whole bunch of times, like nobody was ever really like, oh man, this is gonna get bad.
And
like,
I would say Frieza was like more of a threat. Meaning Frieza like literally.
I think it was that Frieza was more vicious or like.
Yeah.
So like Cell was more of like the honorable villain. Boo was a little bit more of like chaos incarnate. He didn't really have a goal. He just like, I'm turning you into candy.
He just wanted to be a fatty, man.
Yeah, right? Like this is what happens when fat people get skinny. There's a lot of rage left over. Like that's why everybody's like, "Hey, man, you need to get in shape." I'm like, "You don't want to see Kid Jordan. Kid Jordan is awful." But like I think for the most part, Zamasu was kind of that throwback to Frieza, where like this guy will kill everyone just because that's what he wants to do. Like there wasn't really a rhyme.
There was no reasoning with him. He was just
well,
like,
no, there was absolutely a reason. He was just like, I want absolute.
There was no reasoning with him to.
Oh yeah, no, he's not there to argue. He's either going to get his way or get dead. Like that's it.
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, Goku wanted to try to... At first, it was, like, trying to convert him and be like, you're a god, you shouldn't be doing this, and blah, 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 you should be better in the universe. And he's, like, pretty much, the universe is not better than me, and I need to make everyone me or they're dead. It's pretty much what he was about. So, like, that's he kind of seemed a lot like Frieza, because I don't see Cell's character really reflecting Zamasu, to be honest.
No, there wouldn't have been any reason for it.
Yeah, Cell was completely self-serving. Zamasu had an ideal that he wanted to reach.
Mm-hmm.
Frieza just wanted to essentially rule as much of the galaxy as he can to sell it. Although I would really like to know who the hell he was selling planets to.
Just different pirates.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. They never really came back to that, did they?
No.
They were like, oh yeah, Frieza's race just enslaves planets and hands them off. And they're like, okay, well, what about the Saiyans? Oh, no, they're cool. You know, you got King Vegeta, and you go, what other, like, what are you talking about? What other planets? How are you a space pirate? What do you pirate? Like, do you just, like, rip all your albums off of, like, Pirate Bay? Like, what do you do? Like, is the FBI looking for you?
Like, so Frieza is technically, like, back then he was credited to be the most powerful being in the universe. Like, why did he even have to pirate? Like, why did he have to pirate and then sell to other people? Why didn't he just take everything he wanted ever?
I just it's really hard to look back at certain Dragon Ball plot points and be like, this was this because like they didn't operate like that. Like Super is just now filling in some holes and making other holes so large that it makes me mad. But like I said, we're not.
The Batara thing was just like the biggest like fuck up they've ever done, to be honest. Like to completely contradict everything you guys have said back, 15 years ago.
I mean, no. I mean, like I said, being a comic book fan, you get used to retcons like that, dog.
Right.
Yeah, but not like I don't think Dragon Ball's ever really done it in such a sweeping manner as like Marvel or DC. Like they haven't just been like, yeah, that 20 years of stuff never happened.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, like, they're doing their retcon. They didn't expect to do a super.
It's not really a retcon other than some like really menial explanation for something that just kind of went unexplained. Because like you got Kibito Kai that existed, and earlier they were like, oh yeah, that's permanent by the way, like we can't come out. And then Supreme Kai's out here like, no, I'm cool, I got my mohawk, and you go, what the fuck is going on?
Well, they said apparently the Namekian dragon wished them to be separated, and he can do that now. Apparently,
Yeah,
like,
well,
what
what can't the dragon do?
Now, another weird thing. Weren't the Dragon Balls created by the Namekians?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the original storyline?
Yeah.
Which is why when Piccolo or Kami died, they disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Correct.
going on with like the Super Dragon Balls? Like, what? Like maybe it's just stuff that I missed because I hopped in so
No.
late. But
No, they never touched it. We might get more now, considering they're trying to do another Dragon Ball, like at least a mini arc for them. But who knows if it'll actually happen? So I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Lol get wrecked.
Like, we have the Dragon Balls because of the Namekians. Cool. That's an invention of the Namekians. No. Turns out that the Kais can do it too, but they get like a super version.
Yeah, right. They're like, oh yeah, suddenly these things happened.
Well, the super version is literally anything can be granted. Doesn't matter what it is, right? There's no limitation on their wishes.
I mean, yeah, until they find one. Like, shit, it's Dragon Ball, dude. The Patara earrings couldn't keep people together for more than an hour earlier, and now suddenly... Stop it! Stop it!
Because why couldn't Zamasu just have used the Dragon Balls and just be like, yeah, eradicate every being on the planet and kill all the gods in all the universes and kill the Omni King too? Like,
I don't think the dragon can do that, though. Like, there has to be a walk-off limitation.
Right. So he probably, I guess, in their retrospective, how they're trying to make the Dragon Balls power is like, I guess, creating an exact god copy of himself was like the best thing he could possibly do.
I guess that's fair.
And,
yeah.
All right. So, real quick, I gotta ask you guys this. Oh my god, I think I just lost my complete train of thought into listening to that.
I'll do my closeout on the arc while you think of the last comment then.
Sure.
Okay, so by far this is my favorite arc since the Android, since Cell. I voiced in our other recording that got lost what I didn't like. Pretty much, kind of reiterate, just the Patara was the only thing that really threw me. I do like the whole Back to the Future Scooby-Doo element. I know Jordan doesn't like it. But I do like that we kind of do a little bit more than just Saiyans fighting, and that there's more storyline. I think this has been like the most storyline I've actually ever seen in a Dragon Ball franchise.
Well, at least in an arc.
What's going on, huh?
Like, I think overall there's been a lot of story, but I think especially in this arc, they made a lot of jumps. Like, they're like, this happens because of this, and this is the backstory, and this is the bad guy, but wait, there's another bad... Like, I think they fleshed things out more this time, which opposed to, like the World Tournament was just like, oh, hey, how strong's Goku? And then they sort of gave us Kaioken.
Yeah, World Tournament arcs, that's exactly what they're going to be. There's not really much they can do as far as, like, making an in-depth plot to that. It's a tournament. You're going to fight, that's what's going to happen. So, but as far as this goes, like, I like that, like, Bulma showed up, she did some stuff. Master Roshi did some stuff. Goku, Vegeta obviously have prominent roles. Trunks had just as much of a role as Goku and Vegeta did. Then even Beerus and Wiz had roles. So even the Pilaf's gang did some stuff in the arc. Mai did stuff. Yajirobe from the future did stuff. So it's like they're...
That was so weird.
What, Yajirobe?
Yajirobe showing up with his Mexi stash.
Yeah. So I really love that it's like I can't stress this enough. I'm so happy we are past the Goku's role as the only one that's important in the series. Like, I'm so happy for that. We started to see a little bit of that in the Cell Saga with Gohan, and then a little bit with Trunks and Goten and Boo. But I'm so glad that, like, this arc really, really flushed that out to where, like, everyone, like, has something to contribute. It's not all about Goku. Yes, this Dragon Ball Z was created because of Goku as the Saiyan kid that came to Earth, but at least now we're past that, and other people can matter and do something. And I really love that they let Trunks finish this arc. I'm glad Trunks killed Zamasu. So I'm honestly really happy with it. Outside of the whole things that didn't add up with the retcons on mostly the Batara and stuff like that in episode 66, I'd say it's probably one of my favorite arcs ever. It's definitely top 3. So I love it.
All right, well, that was a good run. Hi, Alex. You remember those words you forgot?
I did. All
right.
Okay.
I think it's the whole Batara earrings thing. It's a reflection of our generation now, of what the current status. Even Batara earrings can't keep people together, dog. Just breakups and divorces everywhere.
I'm gonna hang up on you now. He thought I was kidding.
Did you really hang up on him?
Yes, I absolutely hung up on him. I've went.
Oh my god.
He's back.
Yo.
Oh, okay. Hung up on him.
Like that's my favorite thing about our Discord channel. Like Taylor will say something and be like, "I'm not dealing with you right now," and I'll just ban him from the Discord channel. Like, no, you need to go.
Okay, so my last topic I'm going to bring up, I promise, then I'm done, and then you guys can say whatever you're saying, and we can close out.
I've said
what do you guys think of Vegeta's character from initially seeing him in Z to what he is now and how he's evolved?
I mean, outside of Beerus, Vegeta's, besides like Beerus and Roshi for joke reasons, and then Beerus because like I legit like he's my favorite character. Like Vegeta's easily my favorite character in Dragon Ball, like period.
Oh, I mean, so do you like Vegeta now more in Super? Or do you...
Oh yeah, I mean they've built him as a really solid character. Like earlier, it was just like, oh Kakarot, I gotta get stronger. Oh, I got dead. Oh, I gotta get stronger. Like that was all he did. And now that like he's sort of come onto his own, and it's more of a like a Saiyan respect thing. Like he's actually like going toe to toe with Kakarot, and he's hitting those milestones with him. But he's doing it because he's fighting with Goku. So like they've got that weird like not brotherly love thing going on, and it's cool to see Vegeta like really come on his own instead of just being like forcing himself into the shadow of Kakarot or Goku for that matter.
Yeah, and I think they like have a mutual respect. They consider each other as pure equals now.
Well, I mean, how many times has Vegeta showed up and been like, the only person who's going to beat Goku is me? Like, that's a cool kind of rivalry. It's a little overdone, admittedly, but like I can respect that. Like that's not so over the top.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
okay, awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to see what
that. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to see what everyone else's thoughts were because I'm in love with Vegeta. Like I said, Vegeta, Beerus, and Trunks have been like my three favorite characters definitely in the last 50 episodes. So.
Oh, I think it's cool, like how you saw, like you said, that Saiyan Pride Brotherhood when he was fighting the Goku Black, and he's just like, the reason you're not as strong as me, the reason you're not as strong as anyone is because you're a shitty copy stealing someone else's body, and the only one who can use it is that idiot over there.
Yeah, and pretty much it's similar to like how it was with Cell. You know what I mean? Like he kind of gave that incentive on Cell too, even though Cell eventually evolved to be way better than Vegeta. But like that's one thing I do like about Vegeta is like if you cheat your way to the top to be stronger than him, he's gonna talk your ear off and tell you you're a piece of shit. So.
Are you in fact a piece of shit?
Do you eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
Yes.
Did we just Happy Gilmore? Really?
I mean, Happy Gilmore or Kanye West. Like it depends on which direction you're gonna take it.
Okay. So, all right. Is there anything else you guys want to say? Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. So that is going to conclude our synopsis of episode 67 and the Trunks arc, and we will be back whenever there is some more good stuff on Super to talk about.
Will be never. It's totally never.
Deuces.
Bye!